doing another adventure of Dagger Heart.
So Aurelion, did I say that right?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. Aurelion. I'll try and get horrible with names, so sometimes I'll wig out on it. But
You're all good.
Aurelion, you find yourself floating. Your vision very blurry. You let out like a gasp. You begin to breathe and you notice immediately that you're in some kind of water-like substance. You're able to breathe normally.
Okay.
The water that's around you, though, is this deep emerald green. You can't seem to move your body, but you are able to look around in what is in your immediate vicinity that you can see. You do see that there are different people kind of walking around. It almost looks like a lab as you are floating, unable to move. You see a young woman kind of come up, elf in nature, scribbling away at, looks like a parchment paper or a few other things, and you notice that you are being examined, you're being diagnosed. Looking around, just with your eyes, not being able to move your neck, you can see several other tube-like structures that seem to mimic what you appear to be in, with different bodies in each. You feel a sharp pain before passing out. Now this happens countless times to you, where you regain consciousness, where you come back, you regain consciousness and you come back. And each time you feel just a little bit different. Each time you feel like you move just a little bit more, till eventually the pain starts to increase. You no longer are able to just pass out. Your body endures whatever has been happening to you. You can feel your chest, you can feel your muscles, you can feel your teeth, as sharp as they are, tense up. It's not electricity. It doesn't feel like it's a burning sensation. However, internally it feels like your chemistry is being altered. And you think to yourself, why am I here again? Who am I? It's almost as if, as this cycle continues, this maddening awakening and sense of this pain, this altering of your own chemistry, you have forgotten most things. Some things still stick with you. Your father, your mother, your family, your kin. That once your family, some stayed, some went up to the surface. However, these little bits of information, like almost you have to reach so very far to grasp. Eventually it gets to the point where, even though you're enduring this pain days on end, there's a point where where you kind of break, where you no longer have control of who you are. And you feel your body trying to tear out of this tube that you're currently in. Not not like you at all. This doesn't feel familiar to yourself at all. But even though, what were you before this? You don't quite remember, but this feels alien to you as you rummage through and you scratch the kind of the inside of the tube itself, which you can tell that it kind of makes a light scratch in it. Whatever this is made out of, whatever it's containing you in, is heavy. But you do notice when you do lash out in this almost primal, one could say, rage, you look down on your hands, and for a second, claws come out and claws come back in, as if your body is reacting to whatever you're feeling. Eventually, you do pass out. The pain no longer even is there. It's not even hinted at it. And you wake up in... You're not entirely sure how much time has passed, but you wake up in a room. The room itself is just filled with kind of this black, almost obsidian-like glass that surrounds you. You're on a single chair. You're not cuffed or anything of that nature. You can feel yourself very lightheaded, but no longer in the tube. It's almost like a gift, one could say. You're not entirely sure how long you're in there. Months, years, you're not... Hours. You have no idea. Behind you, you end up hearing basically just a very heavy door kind of just open up. And that same woman ends up walking into the room. She's tall, fair-skinned, but something that is striking as she kind of closes the door behind her with another pad. Her eyes are staring at you, and they are almost a starlit night. Her hair completely white, except for the very tips of the strands where they are like a dark kind of purple. She walks on over to you, and you hear the sound of like her foots just kind of echo, and she reaches down at you, and you're in this kind of dazed state, and she looks at your eyes and scribbles down and ends up standing just kind of right before you. How are you feeling?
I don't know. I haven't felt anything in so long.
I was worried about that. She kind of begins to scribble. Have you, during your, and you can tell that it's a little hard for her to like talk about it. During your time in the tube, have you witnessed any changes within yourself?
Nothing that I can think of, but I do remember a burning sensation, like everything within me was being burnt away and brought back, but different.
And at this point in time, like, it's almost like just white noise in your brain. Like you're trying to grasp for certain things, but there's always just something always there, floating in your head. Rebirth, you said. Okay, that's good. That's really good. Here, can you stand? And she offers a hand to you.
I think so. I reach out tentatively for her.
Your hand kind of just eclipses hers. Not to say that she has small hands or dainty hands, but your hands just kind of eclipse hers as she lightly tries to bring you up, and you stand above her. How tall would you say you are?
Probably. I'll just say 6 foot.
6 foot? Okay, absolutely. And she's roughly about probably 5'8", 5'9".
Okay.
So she kind of pulls you forward and you stand up. Alright, well if that's the case then, the mutation's probably done and over with, which is good. That means your body took the mutagen. You can tell a sense of relief kind of on her face. Well, welcome to the Blood Hunters. She kind of taps her paper. Well, come follow me. Let's get you dressed up, and Mephisto's waiting for you.
Oh, okay. Sure.
And she kind of walks on over and brings you to the giant door that kind of like kept you into this obsidian-like room that your reflections seem to be just everywhere. She opens up the door and kind of waves out her hand in front of you to kind of proceed forward. You do notice that you are in almost like scrubs. Mm-hmm. Kind of like this white, very thin material. It's light, but it's kind of silky to the touch as you begin to move and feel that sensation on your body. A very big contrast to what skin color? Are you like a deep blue or?
I think like a lighter, kind of. What am I thinking here? Almost like a. I would say probably like the color of. Actually, you know what? This tray right here.
Okay.
It's good blue.
Good blue?
With specifically some streaks of blue-green kind of tracing along the body, as if like a tribal marking almost.
Yeah.
And I would think after emerging from this tube, distinct, the scales around my fingertips and tracing what was once these green markings, just new red lines following what was already there.
I like that. I like that a lot. So it's like a dynamic contrast between this silky like shirt and like kind of pajama like pants to the how deep blue your skin is with those highlights that you had mentioned.
Yeah.
You step out in front of her and you notice just kind of everywhere the drowningness of the sounds in the back of your head kind of dissipate, and you notice just so much movement going around. People with keys just kind of walking past, and you notice all of them wearing like lab coats, similar attire to what this woman has. So as you begin to kind of walk down this hallway, the hallway itself is it feels very old, like very thick stone everywhere. And something that catches your eye almost immediately is that there's these torches lit everywhere. And the torches themselves are not red from what a normal torch would be, not emitting heat like a normal torch would be. It's this blue like flame. And as you walk down this hallway, one passes you, another passes you, another passes you, it's cold, you notice, with each step. She takes out her notepad once again. Now, do you remember, what do you remember as you begin to kind of walk down this hallway. And I would say, in your daze, I want you to go ahead and roll a knowledge check for me.
Okay. Is that what the...
That'll be your hope and fear.
Hope and fear, okay.
You'll add the 2.
So that's a 3 in fear.
A 3 in fear?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay, so, I mean, it kind of makes sense. You are getting off of some form of something. Whatever they were giving you, your vision is still blurry and almost like these flames that are going, even though they're a dimly lit blue that is kind of echoing throughout, it's almost too sensitive to your eyes. You've been in this very thick substance for God knows how long.
Yeah.
So it's a little foggy when you're trying to look around, but you kind of recenter your eyes onto her, thinking about anything that you remember about your past.
I remember others like myself. I remember the cold feeling of stone beneath my feet. And I think there was somebody who looked after me, who made me feel safe, but I can't picture their face.
She looks down and she writes down a few things and scribbles. You can't quite make out what she writes, being behind her, just because with each torch, it's almost just blinding, as if you had gotten off of like a hangover of some sort. It's just, everything is too sensitive. You feel a little overstimulated. The silk that's wrapped around you right now, the lights, everything is almost too much, as if you're experiencing it for the first time. And do you remember who took you here? Who brought you to our facility?
No, the only thing that I can truly picture in my head is the green.
Green.
Is the coolness of the liquid around me, and the heat inside of me fighting against it.
I see. So nothing of your past at all?
No.
Okay. Well, we'll make sure to give you a little insight on that. I'm sure Mephisto will enlighten you. And you walk down further, and a little too much stimulation, but eventually you end up coming out into this kind of a grand area. It is beautiful in its own right. And you walk down these steps, and you see in the center a giant statue. The statue itself is made of black marble, very close to the obsidian that encased your room. As a picture of a knight reaching up to the stars above him, and then reaching down from the ceiling itself. If there was such a thing as a red blood crystal, an angel reaching out to the knight's hand where they meet and clasp, her staring down vertically with her wings spread out wide. And you begin to step down these steps, and you notice that as far as the eye can see, there is many people walking around. Not in lab coats at this point in time. It seems like normal attire, but one thing is very certain and very common. They all have white hair with purple tips at the end. As you make your steps and ways down, there's around the corner to the right-hand side these giant, beautifully carved wooden doors. You notice that everything has this kind of twixt between blacks, purples, and reds, the theme all around. The carpet underneath your feet is this deep crimson red that kind of is leading up to this giant door. You see two individuals off to the left and right hand side, they seem to be some kind of knights of some sort wearing red crystal armor. You notice they share the same eyes that she does. These kind of, almost like you're staring into the void itself with stars. One of the knights on your left-hand side, he almost looks orcish in nature. Kind of pale skin, these star-like eyes, and then hair kind of braided back. He looks down at the scientist and you and, "Well, is that the fresh one?" He kind of looks you, not eye to eye, he's just a little bit taller than you. She gives a quick bow. Mephisto's waiting for this one to be able to be completely conscious. I know that there's a contract. He finishes her statement. Well, Goran will be pleased to hear that. Make sure you get him suited up when he's ready. And she gives a kind of quick curtsy. You notice the one to your right, the soldier to your right-hand side, was human male looking, still starless night, but interestingly enough, only one of his eyes were filled with that void, and the other one was a kind of like a purple iris. He looks you up and down and pulls you aside while she begins to kind of do some documentations with the other. So, what they do to you in there?
I'm just as clueless as you are. I remember being poked and prodded and being kept still for what felt like forever. But I still have yet to be told who I am, what I'm doing here.
You don't even know who you are.
No.
You could see him kind of hurt a little bit. Well, you don't know it, but you and I are friends.
Okay.
Before this happened. I'm good to see you walking around again, but come find me when you get the chance.
Of course.
I'm Doran.
Okay. Doran. I'll remember that.
Try to. We'll get a few beers later.
Lovely.
So behind the doors end up, these giant kind of oak-like doors open up. And you can kind of just see as the doors open, there's like a chandelier that's kind of placed over this long, like almost banquet table. Once again, these blue hues of the flames are kind of just everywhere. But the flames themselves emit and kind of caress the silver that lines the doors, once again kind of affecting your eyes. But the woman, as you're kind of a little bit in a trance, kind of pulls at you and brings you into this room. This hall is massive. You can see that this table would probably fit close to, I would argue, maybe probably 14 people on the sides, and maybe one at the very end and one at the back. You pass on by this giant throne that is just enveloped in silver and crimson, and walk past and eventually make your way into an office. She immediately speaks with there seems to be like a smaller gnome-like individual, kind of bushy beard, like really thick eyebrows, but once again shares the same iris color of this void-like eye on both. And you hear them talking amongst themselves, and she gives a nod of understanding, and let's bring you into his office real quick. Mephisto will be here shortly, but I will be here the whole time. Rest assured.
Okay. As long as you promise to stay with me.
I'll be here the whole time. She leads you into this office, and it is an office for a king, one could say. A large, almost purple wood, kind of stretched out with maps, with charts, with and something that emits light that you can't quite, you're not sure what it is, but it seems to be propped inside of the wood itself, but it's emitting just kind of like a glow, which is interesting. In this room, there are a couple torches, once again, just kind of lighting the place, and you do start to feel cold, which is one of the first sensations that you really have felt since you've been out of that tube. She sits down next to you, and in these very kind of almost velvet, purple-trimmed chairs, they're very comfortable, facing this desk. Before he comes, I think it's important that you know that your father brought you here to become stronger.
Is that who I've been seeing in my memories?
Could be. He's visited you. He's not here anymore, but he, a long time ago, faced a very similar trial and said it was your time, which at the time you did agree to.
Interesting. I have no recollection of these events. The only thing I can really say is that I feel almost drawn to you all. Something about a deepness in your eyes and in your soul confounds me to come with you and to listen to what you have to say.
A certain trait we have. You can kind of, as you are talking to her, as you're having this conversation and staring into her eyes, you do notice on her left eye, almost like in her eyes, a shooting star. As you're staring into the void that is her eyes. Probably as this conversation happens, the door kind of swings open, and there's a very tall elf dressed in red robes that walks in. Very, very long hair. It is not white like the others. You notice that it is a kind of a very deep blonde, I would say. Not light blonde, but almost a dirty blonde, if you will.
Yeah.
Very long hair, and you notice that he's adorned in silver, but everyone seems to be almost wearing this theme of like purples and blues, but this individual is very prominently red. And he walks around not saying anything at first, but your eyes meet his, and they are blood red, the iris itself. He walks over, and you can tell there's a certain regalness about him as his boots kind of echo in this room. So, you've awakened. He comes and sits down and immediately crosses his fingers up to his face, leaning in. How are you feeling?
I don't really have a good answer for that. I feel both somehow rejuvenated, but I have such horrible memories of pain and of suffering.
It's part of the transformation process. You see, you've gone through several mutations to get you to where you are. Make you stronger, make you faster to make you more of a natural killer.
And I was told that I wanted this,
You sure did.
that I signed up for it.
This. Please.
Why can't I remember that?
Your memories will come back to you. You might feel a little foggy right now. However, in due time, they'll all come back to you. It's part of the mutation as we've changed your chemistry. I need you to roll immediately an instinct roll.
It's an 11 with fear.
11 with fear? I'll take the fear. That being said, the couple times that you did get hope, make sure to give yourself hope. 11 with fear. He immediately takes out a small dagger and chucks it your way, and without even thinking about it, instinctually, you grab it in midair.
Okay.
And you see yourself, and you notice that when you had grabbed it, it was far enough away, but the blade was very close to your eye. And you look at your hands once again, and you notice like the soft kind of green scales, greenish blue scales underneath your palm and the deep blue on top. And he immediately says, "The biggest thing is that your reflexes are where they should be."
Okay.
Now,
Seeing as I likely have no other option here,
you absolutely do. Now, this portion ends our contract. Your father paid for the procedure. You now have access to abilities that you never would have in the past. You now are imbued with the ability to manipulate blood. It's an old, ancient at this point in time, magic that I founded.
Interesting.
Blood magic. At this point in time, the only way to have it is to be able to inject and mutate your own blood, to be able to manipulate it. Now you can either A, leave, return to Siren's Bell once you came, which we would guide you there, or hone your newfound abilities and work for me for just a contract. I'll have you have one of the best teachers that I have, as well as proper guidance. But you're more than willing to leave.
As much as I've been told that I had a life back there, that feels like almost a different person at this point. And I don't know if the current me has anything to go back to. So I will trust in my father that he brought me here for a reason, to meet with you and to work with you.
That's wonderful news. And it was Atreus, right? The name. Aurelion. See? Horrible names. Aurelion, then let us talk of a matter. So I create what are called blood hunters, which you have become part of our order. Being able to manipulate blood, being able to track, being able to be more than the limits of your own body. I need you to go with two of my best to find and track down this. And he takes out from one of his drawers and throws it onto the table. You noticed a kind of like a cut tan hide that has a red cross that goes right down the middle of it, and a serpent wrapping itself around this cross. The undead that are beginning to arrive are bearing this mark. Now, I know that your memory is foggy. However, there is an entity out there called the Crawling King that is completely obliterated almost all life, except for our sacred realm here in the Void. This is an ethereal plane that he kept alive because he's able to draw from the undead hordes that arrive every blood moon night.
Interesting.
They come out from the void, and we have our own defenses, mind you. In fact, you're going to meet one of the generals that are listed down below. They're a interesting type. Voidkin. Not dissimilar to your waterkin nature. Elementals that have been grown from the actual plane.
Strange.
They fight every night against the hordes of the undead and love it. But this mark, I worry that it bodes an ill omen. And you look at the tanned hide itself, and interestingly enough, for a second, it's as if the red inscription that is on the tied hide glows red for a brief second as your eyes adjust. And then after a few blinks, it just almost seems like it's highlighted, like it's glowing. You immediately notice, interestingly enough, that glow. I want you to go ahead and roll for me a knowledge check, just to see if you're able to pick up on something.
That is a 19 with hope.
A 19 with hope? Take the hope. So you definitely notice this. You notice that as the Mephisto, this individual that's been talking to you, has his hands once again back like this, you notice that the tips of his hands are stained with red that you did not pick up on before. It looked like his hands were completely clean, but you do notice that his fingertips are entirely stained with red and his eyes are glowing red, almost like a high saturated, just deep red as they look at you. And you do pick up with a 19 in this room, like claw marks. You do notice that there's just residual blood just everywhere in this room, just from a 19. You'll be joining Goran, one of the generals, to be able to track down what this is. In doing so, you learn more about your blood abilities. Tracking. There is a very disturbing creature that we begin seeing in the void. But I'll let him give you the details. You're probably starving.
I hadn't noticed yet, but now that you mention it, can't remember the last time I ate, matter of fact.
We try and keep you contained and feed you through tubes and things of that nature when you're in stasis, but nothing quite makes out like a cold drink and a warm meal. I'll have you get to... Actually, Joanna, could you bring him down to the market? Go ahead and use your normal credits They'll be reimbursed. Get him some food so that he's ready. And I will have you meet Goran. Honestly, at the Light's Eye Tavern. It will be in the town square.
Forgive me for asking, but you speak as if there's an entire city settlement down here.
Oh, there is. You're in the Void Elf Castle. I am Mephisto, and lead these individuals. You'll notice that the traits where we have most, if not all, have given away their blood atrophy, their blood magic, to be able to trade it for what's called void magic. It's twisted their chemistry, and you can tell the points and gestures to the scientist that's beside you. Some physical traits have changed us. However, I keep constant resistance to be able to keep our heritage, the Blood Elves. With me, and the technology that we have here is allowed to let you have some of my essence to be able to create you to who you are now. But void is everywhere here. Get some food in you. We'll go over the contract, Gorth. And I'll see you once it's done.
Okay.
Take your time. It's gonna be different. Well, I guess you don't know entirely what was once, but those memories will come back.
I hope so.
They always do. Now, if you excuse me, he gets up, and you notice that the glowing light that was on the table on the left-hand side, he pokes and gestures at a few things on it, and then the light itself dissipates. And he begins walking out and turns before he leaves entirely. I expect great things from you. Thank you. Gives a little bow. And leaves. You can tell the woman next to you just kind of lets out a big... Right, well, let's get you some grub, shall we? She stands up and adjusts her coat, and gestures for you to leave. Is there anything that you wanted to do?
I guess peering down at my feet, I briefly run my fingers over the notches in the stone floor where markings and residue of blood has been left.
I want you to go ahead and do a knowledge check for me. You're going to be analyzing this.
So that is a 10 with hope.
10 with hope, take it hope. Discerning from the scratches, the blood that was here at some point in time is ancient. The fact that you were even able to pick it up was kind of an attest to your new abilities, your new senses, these new feelings. With that roll, you can discern that it is ancient. Whatever made that scratch had 3 very long nails. Must have been extremely sharp to be able to cut through stone. And you notice that, I would say with that roll, the few areas that you're able to kind of pick out of, those 3 claw marks seem to be everywhere in this room, as if there was a skirmish or something of that nature that happened in that room.
Interesting. And I think with that, I just kind of, as much as it's a curiosity to me, it's kind of the least least of my worries right now, so I let that be and continue to follow the woman.
Okay. She wraps around the corner, and right as she does, you're met with the gnome that she was speaking to earlier. And he looks up at you. Here you are. And he holds out some clothes. Looks like this kind of gray leather and leather boots. It looks like it was tailored, made just for you.
If you like, you can go ahead and go right down the station and get changed in one of us changing rooms.
Thank you.
It's as silky as that stuff is. I'd rather get you into something that is a little bit more normal, so people don't go get you.
It was beginning to be quite a bother at this point.
This might feel a little bit more akin to what you used to bear.
Thank you. I appreciate the kindness.
He gives a quick bow and just kind of gives a smile and kind of twists that mustache a little bit. But you go around the corner. I'm going to just kind of expedite a little bit. You disrobe, and what do you see about your body that feels different as you take off the silk and you kind of begin to put on gloves and you are able to examine yourself for the first time?
I mean, yeah, I look, inspecting my body, of course, and what kind of feels natural is, you know, like we discussed, the blue scales, the green markings, the fins protruding from my forearms and ankles. But there's these distinctive red marks, very minuscule, running along the interior of the existing green markings that just seems almost foreign, like something that just wasn't there the day before.
Yeah.
But also not entirely alien, like almost like a new tattoo, something that is both was not present before, but is also a part of me now.
Absolutely. You notice that fine detail, and it kind of goes, like, traces certain parts of your body itself, but predominantly it almost seems like it is where your kind of like the main veins that kind of pump blood throughout your whole system. You're noticing this kind of deep, very thin red, almost like a tattoo that is kind of around your body, but it seems to be thicker, like where your wrists are, where your jugular is, where even kind of in areas of your groin, these areas where blood flows at all times. You dress up into these leathers. The leathers are simple, they're grayed out. There is that kind of fresh leather scent to it. It almost as if it was just made for your dimensions. It just feels right. Like you feel much more comfortable for some reason than the silks that you're wearing prior to. You can imagine maybe in your past life that the luxuries, the silks, the everything, that felt so foreign, and this feels so right. You might have not lived the best of lives. You may not have had the most currency or what have you. But you do notice that fine detail that you feel like you're in your own skin now. You kind of like throw on your leathers and you notice that there's a few different vials that are on your, kind of like on your side pouch. When you take a look in there, you see a red vial, a green vial, a deep purple vial, and a yellow vial. And you kind of take a look at that and you clip it back down. But it feels right. You exit the room, and you're once again met with the scientist, and she gives you a smile, and that looks a lot better on you.
Thank you. It means a lot.
Yeah. These, she kind of flaps the her coat. Didn't really suit you. She gives a playful smile and leads you back out into the hall, so to speak, this banquet hall, and you exit out these giant doors, and you notice once again the two guards. Goran ends up. I named these people way too close together. I'm going to rename him. He shall simply be Luke.
Okay.
Just because Goran is way too close to him. So you look over to your side of the Luke, and he looks at you, and he kind of gives like a nod of like, that's better. And he lets out as you begin walking down these steps, once again coming into this grand hall where the two statues are touching. He kind of lets out, once again, like to catch a beer with him later. She leads you down these steps, and just right around the corner, there is this made of marble kind of archway that has a kind of a deep purple like portal essentially right inside of it.
Okay.
And you notice immediately your eyes kind of flicker, and you get a little pain in the back right hand corner of underneath your ear. You see the Elven inscriptions just light up a deep red, and the portal itself just emits. She walks through it without hesitation. As you're staring at this, as this kind of is affecting your eyes, you hear way far away. You hear her voice like kind of yell out, "Step through it!"
I think I kind of just squint my eyes real tight and then just kind of Hail Mary and throw myself almost through it.
Fair. For just a split second, it feels like your stomach is turned entirely upside down. The sensation of almost wanting to throw up happens, but you don't. You are now followed behind her, and there's to your left-hand side like a very kind of tall marble carved rail that leads you out, and you notice now as you look to the left, you see the feet of the kind of bloodied angel statue, and as you're walking and looking up, you notice that you are now upside down walking.
Interesting.
You can see like the giant doors that you were way down below you, and you see it on what would now be considered the ceiling, the two guards just kind of standing guard down there as you're walking now perceptively on the ceiling. You make your way around. Doesn't feel like your hair is stood up, like gravity is entirely normal.
Okay.
But you make your way over to the right hand side, and you notice that this area opens up. And there's kind of like this deep kind of black cobblestone that lays out, and you notice like a town square. Interestingly enough, the grass itself is the same tinge, the same color of purple that the hair that all these void-like beings seem to have. These deep purples kind of aligning these black stone. This town itself seems very busy, very commotion. There's like people just kind of talking amongst themselves. It's a proper town that seems to be walking out and bustling, and you notice these different places. She walks on over, and she points out the pub that you're supposed to go ahead and meet at. Would you like to get food there and just go there, or would you like to explore around? I'll be with you the whole time.
I would not mind exploring the area first.
Sure, absolutely. Is there any place in particular, like something I can kind of... Actually, let me do this for you. So as you get into the town square, you notice several pathways. The town itself, it's as if the buildings that are coming out of the ground are made of some kind of metal. There are glowing purple accents that kind of light up the sides of the buildings in themselves, and you see this kind of neon-like signs that have like very simplistic, like there's food here kind of thing. You notice off into the distance, and you hear it at first, the sound of a... how to describe this? Several boxes begin to kind of float through the sky itself, and you notice it kind of ship down and go to the station where there's a whole bunch of people. These doors open up, there's people that exit out of this large, strange box, and there's people that go into it, and then it kind of trails off as if there were rails that it was running on. However, it just as if they were animated rails in front of it as it began to take off. Interesting. You notice that the town is lit up once again with these kind of blue flames that are everywhere, but there's this interesting contrast of the blue light that is everywhere and the kind of neon looking signs. You immediately, from seeing like the train, your eyes catch this massive moon just out, almost as if the mouth of a cave leading out. The moon itself has this blue tinge to it, but you do notice that as if an eclipse, there seems to be something moving across it as if an eclipse is going to happen. And you notice a giant, massive tree to your right, which then leads your eyes to above you, and you notice down below caves, but most specifically, it looks like a starry night. Interesting. Down below. However, you see boats going across the stars that are below you, as if it is the ceiling, or these boats are suspended in air. Several different shops catch your eye. There's a few that seem like there's different food. There seems to be what looks like a needle and thread place. There seems to be something that looks like a giant red vial of a potion that is flickering left and right in this neon-like glow. You know the bustle around you. You're catching a lot of people's eyes, you notice. Everyone seems to have this color palette, if you will. Yet you are standing out as this very different looking individual, and there's like whispers and things of that nature, and people kind of taking notice but not interfering or trying to get your attention. Just, I would say that you've grabbed a lot of people's attention. Where would you like to go?
I think I'd like to go probably just get food at this point.
At this point, yeah, absolutely. Did you want to get it from one of the vendors, or did you want to go ahead and go to maybe the tavern?
I'd like to grab something from one of the vendors and then make my way over towards the large tree you described.
Oh, the large tree, okay. There's one on the way.
Okay.
So you end up going over, and you're kind of following this path, and she's kind of following behind you, and there's this vendor that is, frying up these, it looks almost, and you can smell it almost immediately, these large chunks of meat, and there's pineapple, looks like some kind of kebab of some sort of thing, and he's frying things up, and he catches your eye, and the three of you have a brief interaction. He kind of is a taller gentleman, a very long goatee, has the void-like eyes, but interestingly enough, he has kind of black curly hair that gets swooped over to one side. But you do notice in the roots there is a little bit of the white that is there. He speaks up. Well, what can I get for you?
What all do you carry?
I carry many things. I carry these goosebumps. I have like a pop pie, if you will. I have sweets, carameled apples, if you so chose. Many things if you are wishing to inquire.
I don't understand quite why, but I have quite a craving for seafood for octopus.
Seafood for octopus. I don't have anything of that nature. However, there is. He's disgruntled a little bit. Toman down the way, he's got seafood of sorts. Can get you. Just tell him that I sent you.
Okay. And what is your name?
Burr.
Burr. Okay.
He will get you a discount. He owes me a drink later.
Thank you for the advice. That's a lot.
You're very welcome. Yeah, enjoy.
And I'll be sure to come back next time.
If you're looking for anything with proper land meat, I have exactly what you need.
Sounds good. I look forward to trying it.
Here's a bow. Not too far after, actually, you end up seeing this other stall. And you can immediately smell, and you almost get hit with a sense of nostalgia. It takes you back to a moment. You remember a time in a very, very, very dark place. You and a few other individuals all seem to be like tidekins, waterkins, and you are roasting what looks like just fish on like a stick. And that smell kind of immediately brings you back to that moment, and you notice that everyone around you is solemn. Everyone around you seems really sad in this moment. And you notice as you reach out to grab your fish, your hands are very frail looking, very small, as if you were a child. And you notice an individual, large, very muscular, wearing kind of like black robes, approaching, and then you're back in the moment that you are now. Mm-hmm. You kind of snap out of it a little bit, but eventually you do make it over to the vendor. He ends up, this conversation kind of plays out, and he ends up handing you something that he has been able to find as squid-like or octopus-like. They are deep fried like calamari, that one could say. The texture's not quite what you remember as you're chowing down on it, but something that you did pick up. The scientist ends up holding out her wrist, and you notice that there are several black lines across, and he ends up putting his hand over it and then being able to take out what looks like almost like this silvery mist that comes out of this tattoo almost on her wrist, and it goes into his wrist that seems to have the same tattoo. But you make your way towards the giant tree that is out there, and because of this, let me change this a smidge. There's no flames that are kind of near you, and you're met with this giant oak tree. It's massive, and it kind of dangles into the air like hundreds of feet up, as if it's trying to reach the water that these boats that are floating on above you, or this star-lit night, so to speak. You notice that there are hundreds, maybe thousands of graves in this area. All these giant tombstones that you can pick out like just random names throughout, but just tombstones everywhere. But something catches your eye while you're there.
looking at the size of this tree. You do notice a black-haired, black as night skinned devil. You can see his devil tail kind of behind him, with horns coming out of the side of his head, and he is kind of just, I don't want to say caressing, but he has his hand on one of the tombstones. You notice that there's people kind of walking on by and things of that nature, but I would say that that's something that you notice immediately without having to roll. It's kind of blatant there.
Yeah.
The girl next to you, the scientist, kind of looks over at you, and she kind of notices that you're kind of taking it all in. Out of curiosity, why'd you come here?
It just felt the most homely of the area. All of this city you've built is quite beautiful, but this tree just stands out as being the only thing that isn't stone and steel.
And she kind of smiles, and you notice as she turns her head to look at the tree itself, several almost falling stars almost like stay in place as she goes, and it's almost like they are scattered in her eyes. And she looks at the tree. That is the tree of life. It used to be a gateway to all the planes of existence. There's one tree that connects everything, and, well, when the second calamity happened, as far as I'm aware, this is the only one left. Here in the Void Realm.
What did happen?
Well, when the calamity happened, there's an entity called the Crawling King, and she kind of grips a hold of herself, as if trying to comfort herself. It ended up destroying the surface of the world, wanted pure destruction, severing every tie except for this to the one source, whether you know it or not, where you're from. Made that place uninhabitable until just recently.
Really? So, what is keeping you all down here?
Well, here, he would never destroy you. At night, and she looks up, the dead come out of that star ocean. That's what he keeps his army.
Really?
And these new, and she kind of pinches her chin a little bit. These new undead with this symbol. I think they mean something to him. I'm not sure what, but they seem to be stronger than the normal undead that come out every night when the moon eclipses to a blood red. And she stares at the moon that's at the, never moving, but there's always just like this slight movement of a shadow, kind of almost getting ready to eclipse.
What can... Surely there has to be something, if anything, that we can do to even just protect ourselves.
Being where we are, we're safe. Down below, it's a battleground.
Interesting.
I worry, and maybe Goran might be able to explain a little bit more, but I worry that he's somehow funneling these undead to
to the source where you're from. I don't know how, but if any entity could do it, he would be the one.
May I speak with this Goran?
Absolutely. He's probably at the tavern by now.
Then let's go there.
Always. She turns around, and the two of you end up walking away from the tree itself, and you do notice just slightly when leaves fall from the tree, it's as if it's like just stars kind of beginning to trickle out, almost like dust. But you make your way back to the center of town, and eventually make your way into this tavern. Let's see, go back to that. So you end up getting into this tavern. You notice that there's a fair amount of people in the building itself, but everyone seems to be keeping to themselves. It's not like a rowdy crowd or anything of that nature. She kind of stands up on her tippy toes and notices someone off into the corner, and she gives like a quick wave, and a giant man is at the other end of that hand. And you notice this individual is completely head shaved. You notice that there are tribal tattoos kind of tattooed on the side of his head. He has a long beard that is white, just the same as everyone else's, and you do notice these two void-like eyes. And you notice that every now and then as you're approaching, the tattoos themselves glow a deep purple. You walk on over, and she introduces you, and this is the new blood hunter that Mephisto was talking about with you. And he, not standing up or anything of that nature, he looks at you, and to paint this image, it's almost very much someone that looks like a Viking of some sort. Very like an occasional leather here for the most part, like relatively just bare-chested, but with gauntlets and things. And he looks you up and down, and oh, another one. He looks, hopefully this one won't die. And he kicks back. What is your name?
Well, my name is Aurelion, but I'd like to briefly ask what happened to the last gentleman that accompanied you?
The last one that was with us, he got taken during one of the undead hordes when the blood moon comes out.
And I take it that I am taking his place here.
The track,
Okay.
we have a lead. He sits up, and when he does, you can just see the broadness of this man's shoulders. And he kind of slides just a beer off to the side and gestures for you to sit. The woman kind of sits off to the side and kind of gives you a look of like, what is it?
Yeah, I kind of just slide in, almost clumsily, into the booth.
Yeah. He acknowledges you and hangs over. Another round. So, we're hunting something called... they're calling her Margaret. A creature that might have something to do with these symbols that are being cut into the undead. It's, from what I can see and have heard in the reports that I have given, she is opening up portals into the source.
leading the undead into there. And he gives this description of this individual. He's very animated with his hands as he's trying to convey this. She's thin, long, lanky, skin like an insect. Has 4 appendages. Her jaw splits down and it's almost as if it opens up. She has no eyes. Somehow, the reports that I'm getting and that we need to find and track with your blood essence, your blood magic, whatever you people call. We need to find this thing and stop it from opening up these rifts.
Of course. I don't really know a lot about this place, but I know that I've almost been granted a second opportunity through y'all, and such I wish to accompany you and help you protect both yourself and the other people that live here.
I need you to kill, not protect. Don't worry about me.
Yeah, I don't believe I've ever taken a life before, but if that's what it takes, I can commit to that.
Good. You see a smile kind of grin on his face. At this point in time, a humanoid woman kind of cuts on over. You notice that she has kind of like a short white pixie cut. Once again, these void-like eyes, and you notice that on her kind of very pale face, there seems to be almost stars just everywhere, as if they were freckles. Yeah. And she puts down an ale in front of you. Oh, the new one. Seems like you haven't gotten the infection yet. I'm kidding. It's not an infection. It's just, if you've been here long enough, you start developing some things. Some accessories.
Well, ma'am, they look very pretty, so nothing to worry about there.
I didn't imagine you'd bring a flirt here, Goran. Well, cheers. And he gives a nod, and she walks back around and begins to take care of the other patrons. Good. So, you don't know if you've killed before, but you're willing to. My guess is, I know that amnesia is a side effect of what you've been through, but if you're going to be put through that, chances are you've probably killed.
Okay.
Chances are you're skillful enough. You're definitely strong enough to be able to endure that mutation that I hear is agonizing.
I have put my trust in, was it Mephisto? Mephisto, I've put my trust in him, and he has asked me to put my trust in you. And so I'm giving you my loyalty, and anything that you need for your quests, I will help you with.
It's good to hear, because I'll need you. I don't have your eyes. I can track, however. Once the blood is washed away, that's all I can see. But from what I understand and what I have seen, you blood hunters can see things that have long since been away. So, without further ado, how do you feel about us just heading right into it?
I'm all for it. I've got nothing here worth sticking around for.
Good. Finish your ale. We'll go ahead and meet up with one of my companions.
Okay.
He slams back the ale that he has, wipes the froth from his face, and stands up, and he's easily 7.5 feet tall.
Okay.
Broad, huge. He lets off like a little gulp and burp as he begins to kind of just try and not knock over the table that's in front of him.
Yeah.
And he puts his hand, which just feels like 10 pounds, just on your shoulder and gives you a pat.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what you can do. I'll meet you down at the stables. We'll be there.
Sounds good. I look forward to it.
And he looks at the scientist and gives a gesture and a nod of approval, and walks out.
Okay.
The ale, if you so chose to drink it, it kind of complements your snack, your calamari that you had.
Okay.
So the saltiness, the brininess of the actual calamari itself, as it crunches in your mouth and you wash it back, it's almost like a raspberry ale. There's a slight sweetness to it.
Okay.
That kind of counteracts the brininess, the saltiness, and the two pair really well with one another.
Mm-hmm.
The scientist next to you kind of gives you a look over, and are you ready for this?
Quite frankly, I don't know, but if I don't do this now, then I'll never have. I will truly never be ready.
Understand. Well, be safe.
Thank you.
Yeah. Are you ready to go?
Yes.
Probably like 10 minutes go by between him leaving and now. She gives a nod, and the two of you kind of get up and begin to walk out, and you hear the one with the short pixie cut let on out, don't die. Stay alive.
Thank you. I appreciate the words of comfort.
She gives kind of a playful chuckle as she's like filling up a beer, getting it ready for someone else. And you kind of head down these steps, and you go off to the kind of straight over past like the town square. And eventually you make it past, like, there's these training grounds on the right hand side, and you see these knights wearing the same armor that you had seen back inside.
Yeah.
And they seem to be striking at like little strike dummies and things of that nature, chipping away little bits and pieces of it. And eventually you come to this giant, it almost looks like farmland at that point in time. And you notice Goran standing very tall, and by contrast there is a dwarf that is next to him. So it's just this striking image of the two. Still very like the dwarf itself, very broad shouldered. His the side of his head's shaved, and there's a white mohawk that the tips once again are kind of tipped with that purple.
Okay.
And Goran greets you. There you are. Didn't take very long. Good. Well, we'll be riding down into the void.
Okay.
We have a lead in the caverns off to the left. I know you don't recall much, so this might seem a little odd. And he walks you into the stable, and you notice inside are three looks like skeletal horses. Flesh is kind of not entirely on there, predominantly bone is showing, and right in the eye sockets are, interestingly enough, the same blue flame that kind of encompasses the whole city. You notice that the horses that are all lined up, like patches of fur still kind of on there. These are the only thing that can really survive down there. You'll be safe if you fall off. Don't worry. But this is something that we've been able to harvest.
Okay.
You can see the stable master, just a void goblin, kind of adjusting like the stirrups and things, and she ends up leading the straps and hands it over to you.
You ever ride before?
Probably. It's, if I could remember, that would be helpful.
Just your instincts. You hop on up, and she immediately slaps the horse's ass and kind of kick you off. Mm-hmm. But I'll go ahead and let you roll a instinct roll just to see how you're able to kind of adapt to this.
That is going to be a 11 with fear.
11 with fear. With a success, though, you end up kind of like, as you gallop up, at first it feels a little funky, but you immediately kind of begin to pull the reins and kind of navigate the horse just a little bit, and you notice that she calms down. You hear the laughter of the dwarf kind of from behind, and he chuckles. Well, it looks like the lad at least can ride. And he gallops on up, and you can tell, like, it's almost comical. He has a smaller horse, and he's looking up at you. So, what's your name, lad?
My name is Aurelion.
Aurelion. Nice to meet you.
Yes, thank you.
We got I've spotted a creature that we're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
Did Goran tell you what we're looking for?
Vaguely. He described it to me as being a foul beast.
That's pretty much all you need to know, as he gallops kind of next to you. Spider. Big. Scary.
Okay.
Well, to be fair, something much more than that. Something that we noticed that it reacts very quickly to sound. So, when we do get close, if we get close, try and be as quiet as you can.
Okay.
The three of you, at this point in time, as the scientist ends up, waving goodbye, end up going to this point where there is almost this large stone, ancient looking pad that the three of you walk on. And when you do, you immediately sink into it. Now, instinctually, you almost feel like, whoa, we're moving. But the two that are beside you aren't like phased by it, and you just instinctually are like, okay, well, here we go, and you fade into the stone itself.
Okay.
Moments later, you fade up and out, and you notice above you, for, I would say, a brief moment, you see the city in the sky. You see the trees, branches coming down above you, or coming down as if upside down. And you're looking at that, and you see the kind of like the moon going behind that, and as your gaze meets down into, you're in water, but every time that the hooves kind of like adjust and clip and clap, there's stars in the water itself.
Okay.
And it creates this rippling effect that's underneath you. So, last we had records of are in those caves. And he points over at, and there's this long kind of winding path that leads into like what looks like a cave central network, so to speak.
Yeah.
There's a decent amount of lake underneath you, and you can see these kind of like old elven ruins in shambles, just pitched, and almost as if there were a town at some point in time around you.
Okay.
I should have probably have said how long you wanted to go with this.
No, you're all good. I mean, I'll probably have to head out around 3, so like
okay.
45 something minutes.
Cool. Sounds good. That was kind of what I was planning on in my brain, but then I forgot that I probably should have brought that up a little earlier.
No, you're all good.
But you do notice like this kind of almost lake in between, and these large almost blazers of this blue flame everywhere.
Yeah.
And you notice that just immediately the void ganassi, or the voidkin, begins to kind of trot off. But next to you, the dwarf kind of looks up at you. So the thing that we're looking for is tall, lanky, for the most part. There were disturbance up on the mountain, that I think that she's laid her nest. This creature is honestly a terrifying sight, if I be so clear. We'll tread carefully, and we'll see what your eyes are able to pick up.
Okay. Let's see. So we're in this larger cavern, and then let's see. I can add. Do you want me to roll for anything at the moment, or just
Not at the moment, no.
Okay. Then I'll probably start with inspecting the walls and kind of how they, at least what I'm looking for is kind of the entrances, exits, how the space kind of opens and closes up.
Sure, absolutely. In that case, I will have you roll.
Okay.
We'll have you do a knowledge check. Now, bear in mind, this is a moment where you could use one of your experiences that you have. Maybe as an example, natural predator, being able to track something as an example.
Okay.
If you did want to use a hope, you can add +2 to your roll.
Yes. Yeah, we'll do that.
Cool. So go ahead and use your roll.
Okay, so that is going to be that's a 10 + 2, 12 with fear.
12 with fear. Okay. Take the fear. That being said, as you kind of get up to where this cliffside is, and as it begins to kind of spiral up, you immediately, it's almost as if your eyes begin to take in more light. When this happens, you feel almost like a strain or pressure around the actual eye itself.
Okay.
And you notice that you can tell these thin hands that were bloodied at some point in time crawling up the side of the mountain itself, and you see just many hands climbing up and a pair of feet going straight up this cavern with that roll.
Yeah.
What do you see, lad?
It's not so much I see, I just get the impression of a strange, panicked escape up through the top of the cavern.
Panic, you say?
Definitely more footprints than any of us possess. So I take it that's the creature we're looking for.
Might be our girl. Panic, though. Interesting. Maybe something backfired. We noticed that she was... When the blood moon happens, and he points up at the moon, you notice at this point in time it's about halfway eclipsed.
Okay.
When that happens, the hordes of the undead end up coming out of the waters, and they come out to fight. They our enthusiastic friend over there, he points and gestures as you see Goran kind of beginning to climb up the mountain on top of his steed through this winding path. His kind, as crazy as they are, end up fighting every night, hoping to die amongst them or claim many dead. During the night, we've seen this thing grab a hold of some of the undead and begin etching things into their skin. A symbol of a cross and a serpent. And then they just disappear. Can't find them. The Voidkin can't kill them, which they're upset about. However, I worry. And there's evidence of it that she's bringing them across the veil. We have to stop it as quickly as possible.
Okay. And what do we do when we find her?
Well, she seems like she has a conscience of some sort. She's always so far away from our scouts. Might be able to talk to her, might be able to figure out what she's doing, or we kill her.
Okay.
If she can be killed.
I mean, with her, do you think that she's the only thing down here?
No. There's great evil that comes here. Every spirit ends up here when you die.
Okay.
You might even be able to find some of you old folk roaming around in these wastelands once the moon turns red.
Interesting.
There's a lot of evil here.
Well, forget I asked then. It's best that we just carry forward.
It's good
Finish
to
the
ask.
mission.
Don't worry about asking, it's good to. And you kind of hit, and they kind of gallops up, and you begin to kind of form a formation upwards. As you're kind of going up, and with your previous roll, you do notice like where the hands and the movement and things of that nature, and you begin to kind of pick up just almost like hordes of footprints kind of leading up in front of you, as if many have walked this path at some point in time, whether they've been undead, whether they've been in any of the voidkin or anything of that nature. But eventually you lead up, and the Goran ends up lighting a torch that emits this kind of blue light, and inside the tunnels themselves you see this giant cathedral. And oddly enough, as you approach, you do hear the sound of a bell just kind of echoing through, as if is there someone there? Is there not someone there? Goran hops off his mount and takes out a giant battle axe and kind of holds it off to the side. He reaches into one of his pelts and tosses you a long sword, and you catch it with ease. And you see that the dwarf, he has like 2 battle axes out. You do approach this area, and there's just a weird sensation that kind of washes over you, that is certain like chill, as if it's inviting you in. You notice alongside the actual door itself, you notice like scratches. Just your vision is like dialed into as it's tracking where all these movements happen. It almost looks like this horde has made its way into this building with that roll that you had.
I would caution you all, from everything that I can sense, we're no longer chasing one person. So be ready for anything in there.
The Goran kind of lets out like just a smile of excitement, and you begin to kind of go into this place. You notice that there's like a church pyre, like a place where there'd be people be able to give sermons. There's these lamps that are kind of dangling from up top, just kind of lit up with the void-like flame, this blue flame, and they kind of have just almost a rattle to them. You notice that in the temple themselves, that the pillars are made of these skeletal skulls that kind of go up. You notice this depiction at the very center, behind the pyre itself. Images of elves holding their hands up, and blood kind of going out of their hands, and then you notice stars coming out to these other elves that hold their hands up. It's a little unnerving with all the kind of all the seats and things of that nature just kind of shuffled off to the side, as if there was a skirmish at the point in time. The dwarf nudges you. Well, what do those eyes tell you?
I'd like to observe the kind of dimly lit back end of the space.
Absolutely. So you kind of go back over to around the corner,
And you're taking a look around in that area, and it feels just very cold, like the feeling of death being very present. You immediately get flashes of Jesus Christ. This is much louder. But you end up getting like these flashes of. Actually, no, I'll have you roll for it. I need you to go ahead and roll a knowledge check for me.
That is a 12. That's evenly split, so I don't know if that functions.
Oh, that means it is a critical success.
Oh, sweet.
So what happens with that is that you gain a hope, as well as you end up removing a stress if you had a stress.
Okay.
All right. So taking a look inside there, you're kind of shuffling some things around and moving things, and you notice that you get almost a flash. It's almost like it's painting an image of like whatever this is rummaging through something, tossing things around. You immediately kind of follow the etchings, the scratches, the marks that you have, and with a critical success, which is essentially a natural 20.
Okay.
You notice that these movements and things of that nature, like the rugs that kind of erupt everywhere. You see these scratches and things, and you see muddy boots just everywhere. And interestingly enough, you find a small music box with a natural critical success. The music box is small, and you notice that as you kind of pop it open and whatnot. It is very like well kept but old. Ooh. This is not working the way I hoped, but we'll get there. But with that success, you are able to find that there and present. You do notice that whatever this thing is, it walks on all limbs. And with a critical success, you also notice that it is able to crawl on the walls.
Okay.
As you'll be able to understand that. This room in particular, let me go ahead and change this. You kind of begin hearing, interestingly enough, the sound of rain beginning to echo throughout these halls. But you do also discover like a broken down door that seems to be leading into a darker area with that seems to have no light inside.
Yeah. From everything I can sense in the area, she's been here very recently, and it seems like she was in quite a hurry. This whole place has been torn apart. The only place we haven't checked is down this corridor. Now, it's quite scary to begin with. I'm getting a very ominous aura from the space. So, as long as you guys have my back, I think we push down this direction.
Well, you have ours. What is that you grabbed there?
It's a strange music box.
Let me see.
Yes. Hold it over
out.
to him.
Kind of fiddles with it, and he eventually pops it open and looks at it, and you notice that there's like this kind of little ballerina, very old, just beginning to turn. He's like, oh, that's creepy as fuck. And he closes it and then ends up handing it back over to you.
Yeah.
Well, keep it if you want, but that looks cursed as fuck if you ask me.
Well, I got nothing else I'm holding on to, so I might as well store it in one of my back pouches.
Go ahead and add music box into your inventory. But you start to make your way down, and you immediately, as you begin to go down, there's a sense of almost adrenaline that begins to kind of kick up, and you begin to almost hear your own heartbeat as you make these steps down. You see the
the blue flame that's behind you kind of emits just a little bit of light down. You notice down in this area, it almost seems like there's barracks. The three of you end up getting closer and closer, like into the center of the room itself, and you begin to hear just the sound of just almost people talking kind of around you, and it gets very cold. You notice that usually like amphibian creatures, there's always like a light glisten of liquid almost on them, keeping their skin hydrated, but there's as if your skin is drying up just slightly. You start feeling a little bit parched, in just this sensation of feeling like you're being watched, looking around, looking at the bunk beds and things like that. You feel this sensation of being watched. What would you like to do?
Let me see. I am going to see. I'm going to use the natural predator to really push the bounds of my senses and try to reach out for anything, both physical and immaterial, that might be in the space with us.
Absolutely, yeah. Go ahead and roll, and you'll have that +2. Use a hope.
It is going to be a 19 or 21 with fear.
21 with fear. Let's go. So you kind of hone in. Describe this for me as you are reaching within yourself, trying to tap into this mutation that you have in your body.
It's almost like kind of forcing more and more blood into my eyes and almost amplifying that sense of sight. And pushing past the darkness to kind of pick up any glints of color or movement or just those little background details that the eyes don't consciously perceive.
Okay. I would say with that roll, you hear initially the sound of a young girl. And you look down, you see this almost spectral like little girl, eyes hollowed out entirely. There's a slight shine to her. Doesn't seem like anyone else notices this. And she's holding your hand. And there's that sensation of like cold touching your hand, but nothing actually there.
Yeah.
And she looks at you with that roll. And she seems lost.
I've lost my house.
But she's like, there's a sensation of like almost fear in her eyes. When you are dialing in those senses. What do you do seeing this?
I think I crouched down next to her, kind of acknowledging her in front of me, just asking, like, where have you come from? Like, what are you doing down here?
She looks at you, and you notice that Goran is looking down at you with like an eyebrow raised and kind of crosses his arms. I'm here forever. The three of them, they're always here. Mommy, Daddy, and my brother Junior. They're always here. I go and wake up in different places all the time. Mother's here somewhere. She looks around with hollowed out eyes. Why are you here?
We're looking for a strange creature with a spider-like body, but quite human-like features. It would be quite hard to miss if she came through here. I was wondering if you had seen anything like that.
She almost tries to pull you down, and she whispers into your ear, "That's Mommy." She lets go, and you can just see her kind of looking around, just... "I'm always here with her. She's here somewhere."
And I turn back to Doran, and I'm just like, we might have a small update. There's from all the information I've gathered, there could be anywhere between 1 and 3 of these creatures here, somewhere in the darkness of this building.
Somewhere in the darkness of it, you hear the sound of dragging feet further off into the distance that seem to just kind of echo. You hear that? I hear it. You hear the girl speak. "That's Daddy." And she kind of cowers behind you. I need you to go ahead and... Well, actually, it's up to you. How will you handle this?
And this girl, she's like a phantom. There's no physical.
Yes.
Okay.
With a critical success.
Let's see. And I can't. So we can. Is the noise of the father? Is that? Can the whole group hear that? Or is
They
that
can hear that. Yeah.
Okay.
It's pretty apparent.
Yes. Then I think what I'll have to do is, while pushing the young girl, or even just gesturing her to kind of retreat back from where my group came from, I think at this point we kind of need to steady ourselves, not advance towards it, but I think slowly push forward towards just the direction that noise is coming from.
Okay. You make your way past the barracks, and you notice this kind of long hallway that almost yews out. You can see that it kind of curves out, and you hear the sound of these footsteps off onto the right-hand side. As they kind of go off, you do notice that they begin to get quieter and quieter. The sound of the door kind of opens into the distance and then closes, and you hear, "Margaret! Where are you? I got the stew cooking. We should have that latest batch ready to go." You can just hear that door just kind of closing right behind. But you heard that on your right-hand side, just kind of based on your previous roll.
There's at least one off to the hallway on our left. I don't know what it is or how big it is, but it's likely that the other two are very close nearby.
This is... Right. Should we go right for the pop, or find the one that's crawling on the walls, apparently?
You know what, now that you mention it, I think it's best that we take out the mother first. I would hate to have us get cornered in trying to seek out the father.
Good idea. My scouts have never heard of a male figure here. Did you say there were 3, maybe?
Yes, yeah, I was described as a father and then a young male child.
Aye. Alright. Well, if he went right, let's go left.
Okay.
So you make your way down, and at this point in time, Goran ends up extinguishing the flame. So you're kind of walking around in darkness. However, the sensation behind your eyes once again begins to kind of like pulse a little bit. And you feel your eyesight narrow, and you're able to kind of see in this darkness as you begin to navigate. And the two of them seem to be just kind of following your lead as you begin to kind of walk around. You notice that both of them have their hands on their weapons ready to go. Off into the distance, as this U kind of goes around, you hear the sound of scratching. And almost immediately, I would say, you see, just briefly, a shadow that whisks over you. I need you to go ahead and roll, if you're trying to be stealthy, an agility check for me.
Okay.
Or a finesse roll.
Okay. Let's see. That is gonna be a nice one. A 13 with fear.
13 with fear? Okay. A success. I'm going to go ahead and roll for your companions. A success, just barely. Let's see if the dwarf does. And a success as well. So the three of you get really quiet when you see that shadow kind of go around. And you hear the sound of clicking. And you turn around just slowly to try and see at the corner of your eye and look up, and you notice the dangling of black hair above you. And you see this elongated woman with these very long appendages crawling on the ceiling quietly, going above, heading towards where the father may have been. You hear, "Dear, did you say something?" As it is above you.
I would think. So is she currently right above us?
She's currently right above you, just kind of making her way towards the sound of...
Okay. Okay. And would you say she's within attack range?
You can probably get up there with a longsword, I'd say.
Okay. Then I think while we're at the very least covered by, like, in the darkness, I'm not only going to attack, but I'm going to use a hope for Crimson Right.
Right on. You got full HP, so it doesn't take HP. Boom. Go ahead and roll to hit.
Okay. And that's just the 2 again?
That'll be your 2, yeah.
And that is a 21.
21.
With
definitely hits.
hope.
With hope. Take the hope back.
Sweet.
Describe this for me as you see this creature just kind of crawling up, and the hair almost touches your eye as it moves this way.
So essentially, just right as she's kind of going overhead, right as I've sensed that, I kind of just very slowly draw my sword, and then right before she, like right as she passes me, I just attempt to slash at her body.
Yeah.
Crawling up on the roof there.
So you definitely make hit. So you carefully just slash your weapon out. I need you to go ahead and roll damage at this point in time.
Yep. D plus 3. So that's 7 plus the D6. That is 9.
9. So You go ahead and slash out, causing 9 damage to this thing. She stumbles and you hear this like loud as if her jaw kind of splits open in pain. You immediately hear the sound of a door just slamming open. That does use your spotlight.
Okay.
So at this point in time, as this thing kind of kicks off and you begin to hear this music kind of echo through the home or this place itself, and she stumbles and kind of grasps, and she immediately turns on over, and her jaw separating. You notice almost like an insect-like face with no eyes at all. She's going to go ahead and attempt to strike you.
Okay.
Misses entirely. So she swoops down and trying to think of where you actually like struck her from, and she lands on down and begins to kind of swipe and slash, but you are able to almost stick to the shadows, and your body seems fast. It feels agile. You feel alive in a different way, and your heartbeat begins to kind of calm itself just slightly as you feel confident. Immediately, the Void Ganassi ends up taking out his battle axe. He's going to go ahead and use his spotlight to see if he can hit, and definitely makes contact. He slams the axe into her back, and you hear her reach out and just like grasp out, and she grips a hold of the wall. The dwarf ends up trying to take a swing at it, and when that happens, as he digs into it and pulls it back in blood, and you notice almost highlights and vibrates the room when blood is just spilt. The dwarf comes up with his 2 axes and tries to swing directly at her, but she grabs a hold with almost knife-like hands and parries that those blades away. Immediately hear the sounds behind you begin to thump. This thick limp coming up from behind you. It is now her spotlight. She gashes out, and when she strikes, and she begins to kind of just swirl around, and is going to go ahead and try and perform a multi-attack on you.
Okay.
So, let's see. As you adjust yourself and she parries that away. Misses the first strike. Misses the second strike because your evasion's 10.
Yes.
That is very cocked. Hits the third one. So she sweeps out, and you're kind of quickly parrying it and getting pushed backwards in this narrow hallway. And when you kind of like get hit up against a wall itself, and she's digging her claws in, she immediately, with one of her other appendages, stabs directly into your side, and you feel this swift pain. You end up taking 14 damage.
Okay.
So it carves into you.
So is that would be severe at that point?
Yep, so you can use a shield to drop it down to major. But the pain is unreal as she begins to almost curl her nails inside of you. Spotlight's now yours.
Okay.
As you're pinned up against this thing, you have her hand basically under your rib cage.
So I've got one arm up, she's got one arm like straight stabbed into me. So with my free hand, I'm attempt to cut at the limb that's impaling my side.
Absolutely. Go ahead and roll the hit. So it'll be your 2 hope and fear.
Oof, that is going to be a 3 in fear.
Ooh, 3 in fear.
Yeah.
So you go ahead, and as you're pinned up against this thing, you kind of try and shove her off and try and slice the wound. But when you do, you notice that her skin is almost like armor. This insect, this exoskeleton, Jesus. And you just kind of rub up against her. When this happens, she bats that aside and goes to go ahead and try and do a bite attack on you.
Okay.
Let's see if she does it. 17 definitely does. So she goes ahead and her jaw splits open, and she goes to bite directly into your shoulder, causing 7 damage.
Okay.
So she grabs a hold and pierces into you. At this point in time, it is now the Void Ganassi. He's going to go ahead and try and lift her off of you and shove her to the side. Let's see if he can do a strength contested roll. Oh, with ease. He gets up behind and notices as she bites up into you and you let out a gasp. He grabs a hold of her hair and just yoinks her off of you and chucks her off to the side. When this happens, you start seeing just this vibrant array of color, and you notice that it's your own blood just kind of ripping out and kind of splattering against the wall. Due to the brevity of time, I know it's 3. Just about shit.
Yeah.
Time flies. I'm going to say that when this happens, they call for this as a retreat.
Okay.
As you begin to kind of almost bleed out as she had bitten into your jugular.
Yeah.
You briefly, as your vision begins to kind of fade in and out, you see as her flailed body begins to kind of try and scramble herself to be upright once again. You see just barely off into the distance a tall, pale orc that is massive in size, carrying a butcher's axe.
Okay.
You immediately faint and get pulled out of there.
Okay.
You hear briefly these moments of in and out of consciousness of hearing he has to survive. We can't have another failed experiment. And you fall into darkness.
Okay.
And that ends the origin story of your character.
Awesome.
There we are.